When you get this concept, it gets easier, more smooth, and happens far more quickly. Let's hop in and talk about it on episode 153 of the Client by Client podcast. Hey, what's up? Jeremy here from whatupjeremy.com, back with another episode of Client by Client. Thank you so much for tuning in today. In the last episode, we got down and dirty to have a deep conversation and to go in depth together, me and you, on guarantees. The importance of your guarantee in your online offer, how to follow through on your guarantee when you're delivering your program to your paying clients, and what to do and how to think about what happens when a client isn't happy with the guarantee, when they want a refund, when they want to take advantage, so to say, of the guarantee that you made, and some food for thought on why we must level up every part of your guarantee and how to get it right in your online business. So be sure to backtrack to episode 153 to get all of that. Side note, I said this is 153, even though this is 154. So luckily that doesn't make it into the audio editing here, right guys? All right. In today's episode, I want to revisit a concept that we've talked about a few times during the duration of this show, from a book that's had a huge impact on my life, which is called Reality Transurfing. If you are not familiar, this is a book translated from a Russian author named Vadim Zeland. If you are into manifestation, if you're into things like law of attraction, but find that most of the stuff out there just feels at way too much of an infancy level, a lower grade level, so to say, and you want to understand more of the mechanics for how to simplify your mind, align your energy for what might be causing for your manifestations to be distorted when they come down your way, or if you've ever had a situation where you had a vision, you had a clear goal, and it started to happen, it started to come true, and then everything fell apart, this can help you pinpoint how to actually get these parts of your mind and your vision right, and what to do on a daily, weekly, monthly basis to manage and maintain your energy. And in one of the concepts in Reality Transurfing, they talk about importance. And I had to read the book a couple times. It's 700 pages, an easy read, but 700 pages. I had to read the book a couple times to truly grasp this. And I'll be completely transparent with you. I may not have fully grasped this. In fact, this is partially my attempt at sharing what it is I learned so that I create a deeper understanding and foster a deeper thought process myself when it comes to how I manage, how I maintain, and how I minimize, more importantly, importance when it comes to my dreams, my visions, the goals that I'm going after. So if you want to hear more about this concept and a little bit more of an introduction than the first 20 or so episodes, we talked about this a little more often. So backtrack and you can find any other episodes here that have Reality Transurfing in the title, or anything along the lines of manifesting, visioning, and those sorts of things would really pertain well to this episode. That preamble out of the way, let's now talk about 3 concepts for how to minimize your importance and why this is just so, in lack of better words, so important and critical to your online goals. First, you must know your goal. You must actually have chosen something that you're going after. And this could be anything. I know we talk every single day here about your online business, about getting your next client, about getting clients consistently, about creating generational wealth, and about creating this life beyond your business that has meaning and creates an impact far longer than you ever walk God's beautiful green earth. I know we talk about that all the time, but this applies to anything that you're wanting. It could be health, it could be a relationship, it could be some sort of experience that you're wanting in your life, something that you've longed for a long time. It could also be something that you might have not yet imagined. But you have to know your goal. You have to know what it is that you're going after. And this can happen over a cup of coffee in one sitting. This can also take a long time to really understand what it is that you want. Very powerful question, as simple as it may be, is to always ask yourself, what do I truly want? Okay, I'm clear on this, but what is it that I truly want? And when you can start to boil things down to that simplicity, what you end up finding is it's often not the thing that you want, which we're going to talk about a little bit more here on this episode. But first, you must know your goal. In the context of growing your online business and looking at it through the lens of getting to and through 15K a month, maybe that's your goal. However, it's not the 15K that you actually want. It's not the 30K. It's not the 100K a month that you actually want. When you boil it down and you ask yourself, what is it that I really want? Well, it's probably actually true freedom. For some of you, it's wanting to leave your day job. For some of you, it's wanting to provide for your family. For some of you, it's wanting just to prove it to yourself that you're capable of this feeling, of this ideal. But whatever the case, you must know what it is that you want. And we've talked a lot about Neville Goddard's work and the concept of thinking from the end. And so in the concept of knowing your goal, you also have to, I'm gonna tie that back in the second point. So I'm gonna hold off on the Neville Goddard stuff here for a second. Not only must you know your goal, I wanna talk about how you handle your goal when it comes to your social circle, when it comes to sharing it with the general public. I think that, and I have learned through reality transurfing, that you should keep your goal close to yourself, if not completely private. And there's two reasons for that. One of the major reasons, and we've all heard this too, if you're at all into goal-getting, accomplishment, and therefore, or thereon manifestation, which is that when you share that you have a goal on social media with your friends and with your family, you'll often be congratulated. You'll often be applauded for having a goal and having a vision, because most people just don't. So to hear someone else's for some can just be absolutely profound. I know everyone here listening is not that kind of person, but you probably have those around you that if you did share your vision, if you had the gusto to share your vision and felt implored to, that even though you might think that they might look down on you, they'll probably applaud you. And when this happens, and when you get comments on social media, when you talk about your vision and your goals, or this thing that you're going after, you will often get the dopamine drip that should come with, that's supposed to come with the success and with the completion of that goal. And so what can wind up happening is that when you get that dopamine drip of everyone patting you on the back, both digitally and in person or over the phone, whatever the case may be, something happens in your mind where it feels like it's accomplished it already. And that can reduce the amount of action that you actually go on and take. And it can reduce your chances of actually succeeding and seeing it through. So once you know your goal and you're clear on it, again, it's not 15K, 30K, 100K a month. It's probably more like you want to be able to do this thing, have this experience, live this kind of life. You must know your goal and then keep it close. I would implore you not to share it out with the world. I would implore you to really keep it to yourself, with only with the addition of a significant other or a business partner. Would I really challenge for you to share or talk about your vision at large? Now, if you have a higher ideal that you're trying to lead your people down, I'd call that a little bit different. I would associate this more with, like, for lack of better or different examples, of like Martin Luther King. In Simon Sinek's book, Start With Why, he shares this concept of Martin Luther King and really highlights the I have a dream speech, and how it moved masses, how it moved millions to believe in this ideal. Martin Luther King had a dream, but he did not necessarily say or share that he had a plan. And when we talk about your visualization, and when we talk about leading others to greater pastures, greener pastures, and to better waters, I would say that's a little bit different than your vision. And if you have a vision for your people, I think that is worth sharing. But when you have a vision and an exact goal for your life that you're trying to accomplish, in this part of the episode, here today and now, I would implore you to keep that to yourself and to not get the chance that you get congratulated and applauded and patted on the back just for simply having a vision, because that's standard issue for everyone listening and tuning into the show. That's minimum requirements for who we are aiming to be and who we are becoming in this moment, is to have a vision and to have a plan. Keep it to yourself, keep it close to your heart, and I would challenge you to not share it as much as you can. As proud as you might be of yourself, when you get that dopamine drip and you get others who congratulate and applaud you and make the win having the goal, you will be far less likely to see it all the way through, and it's a very slippery slope with that. The second concept I want to talk about when it comes to the importance of minimizing importance from the book Reality Transurfing is you have to have a target clip, a target slide is what it's called in the book, of what it is that you actually want. So yeah, you might want the 15K, and you might get even deeper and say, well, I want personal freedom. I don't want to have a day job. You might have this experience that you're wanting. You might want this certain kind of relationship with a certain person. You might want a certain feeling in your life. And what I want to now bring, that I alluded to a second ago, is Neville Goddard's concepts. And one of the concepts that has just stuck with me since I've delved deeper into his work has been the concept of thinking from the end, which is in exact alignment with the concept of the target slide. The target slide is the idea of having a, let's say, 30-second to 60-second, a minute-long clip of what ultimate success actually looks like for you accomplishing the thing that you're wanting. So if it's some sort of business goal, what would life look like a week after you accomplish that first 15K a month or 30K a month? Like, what does that actually add up to? What are you doing now a week or a month after? And that's thinking from the end, because then what you can start to kind of do is backwards rationalize what would need to happen, who would I have to be, what things would need to change in my environment in order for that to be the case. And if we take all of these manifestation concepts, if we take all of the woo and energy and frequency and vibration talk away, you start to be left with physical steps. That's about the only thing that you're left with. You could leave it to just faith. You can leave it to just powers that be. But even in that, in prayer, the Bible talks about not praying to like ask for things, praying as if it's already come to pass, praying as if it's already come true. That's no different, in my opinion, than thinking from the end. I'm not the kind of person that likes to leave things a chance. I want to not necessarily be in control of what's happening around me and to me, but I'd like to think that I have influence. Now, I don't know what's best for me in the grander scheme, and I know for a fact that some higher power is constantly looking upon me and looking out for me. Whether that's one thing, call it one name or another. I know that in my own life. But I also like to, just like when I wanted something when I was younger, not only would I go and ask for it from my parents, but I would come with a motherfucking plan. I would say, you pay for half and I'll go and find the other half. You pay the taxes on it and I'll do, hey, for Christmas, don't get me this and that. Let's do this thing and I'll pay for half of it because I know it's expensive. And so I started hustling in second grade. I had a vision and I had a goddamn plan. I also feel like I've had some luck, some generosity from outside powers that I don't have the words nor the time to explain or to convince you of or the desire to convince you of. That's for another day, maybe an in-person conversation. So you have to understand what life would look like. What would it be like? What would you do with that 15K, that 30K, 100K day? Let's tie this back, Montoya. What would it look like a week after you have that car, that relationship, that feeling, that accomplishment? And starting to think about that and add mental power to that and experience it in your mind's eye. To go there first in the mind and understanding that whatever seeds it is you sow there, that you will too go there in the body. The issue is that for most people, not you listening, not all two of you listening to this right now, is that we think the worst of things the second we have a thought. We're constantly judging and thinking of things are good or if they're bad. And we're in that constant oscillation. And we do not have the mental capacity in the present moment to understand and the foresight to see if something is truly good or bad. Because again, as a broken record, sometimes the best things that happen to you in the moment seemingly become the worst thing when you look back in hindsight. And sometimes the worst thing that happens to you, your lowest points in your life, turn out to lead to the greatest things and allow for you to become the greatest and highest version of yourself. But in the moment, we don't know, but yet we still judge. And we look at sports, and if your team wins, it's good or bad. It's team versus team. And if it's left wing versus right wing in politics, and if it's always got to be yes or no or good or bad. The truth is always somewhere in the middle. And it's really hard for the human mind to stay neutral and to stay calm, which is what this entire importance thing is about. It's not swinging on any pendulum. Because to swing on to any side, to be all right wing on politics or all left wing, is to be what the ancient Hermeticists called half wise. You know something, but you only know half of it. And to know and to think that something is all good is to omit the parts of it that are bad. Anyone trying to tell you that something is all good, they're on their high horse. And anyone trying to convince you that something is all bad, they don't have it right either. The truth is always somewhere in between. Good cannot exist without bad. Bad cannot exist without good. And what's the phrase? What is chaos for the fly is a dream for the spider, something like that. So you got to visualize your clip. Let's bring this back. You got to visualize your clip. I didn't see us going this far and nor this long into this episode this early. You got to visualize your clip, and then on top of that, once you know what life will look like, what you're wanting it to look like a week, a month, a year after, and you have this exact experience that you can play in your head for 60 seconds of an actual moment in future time. Because time all exists at the same time. We see future and now and past, but time's not linear. It's cyclical. And it's all happening at once, even though it doesn't feel like that in this current moment. You got to know your clip, play that, visualize that and visit that daily as much as you can, instead of all of the other BS that life and other people's agenda is trying to convince you of the news and that the world is doomed, and of sports and that's all that you should be tuned into, and in every other concept and every other person's agenda that's not your own for yourself, that you're being convinced of. Think about and add that mental power to your clip, to your visualization, so to say. And then don't get too excited. We got to stay neutral about it, okay? The other part of the concept that we talk a lot about here is slapping your hands on water, is getting so excited when you see the beach ball floating in front of you. That's your goal. The water is reality. And you start to swim fast towards the beach ball that's floating in water. What happens? It pushes out. It might be buoyed while you're there and still, but the second you start zooming towards it, what's going to happen? You never get it. So what must you do? You must calm down, allow the water to take over, allow Mother Nature to be in charge, which she always is. And then slowly, calmly allow the water, guide the water to take you to that ball. Overcompensate for where you're going to go, because that ball is going to bob no matter how slow you approach it in the stillest of waters. And almost allow that ball to come your way, that beach ball to just float towards you. You can't get too excited when the moment actually comes. You can't get too excited in the target clip and telling everybody else and small successes along the way. Celebrate them, because there is a power in the energy of celebration, but don't allow for that to swing you one way or another and to make you get so excited that you might proverbially slap your hands on water. Thing number 2, visualize your clip, know it from the end, know it from what life will look like after you've accomplished this thing, and then don't get too excited along the way and keep your energy neutral. Thing number 3, if you've enjoyed this episode so far, if you've had an insight at this point in the episode, be sure to screenshot wherever you're consuming or listening to this show. Post it on your story, tag me at WhatUpJeremy, or just if you're watching this live on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, drop an insight, share this with your network. Your connections will be thankful for it, and maybe you'll also attract some positive conversations in your way that can help you deepen your understanding about everything manifestation and accomplishing your wildest and deepest desires. Thing number 3. Once you know your goal and you're visualizing it and you're maintaining your energy and you're expecting for it to happen and knowing in your heart of hearts that it's already happened in some future reality that, again, is simultaneously happening in this current moment, the opportunity will appear. You will start to be given opportunities, and the universe always goes down the path of least resistance. It's always going to find the easiest way to bring those things to you. However, it will not look like how you probably thought it would. I came across this concept on TikTok that messed me up the other day because it just made so much sense. In that, I have a bottle of Fiji water here, right? Great water. This is just refilled with some water and a bunch of salt in it. So if you drank this, it'd probably be pretty salty. But did I want the bottle of the water, or did I want the water? And so, yeah, I want the water, but it comes in this bottle. If you're gonna have a protein bar, I've been eating these Bear Bells and these Legendary Foods tasty pastries lately. Do I want the package, or do I want what's in the package? I didn't want to eat the package, but it comes in that package. A lot of, if not everything you're wanting, comes packaged in, even beyond material goods. Situations come packaged in, things that don't look like your goal. And when we're judging things as, is this a part of what I've been envisioning and what I've been wanting and longing for and what I've been imagining and visualizing, is this the thing? It's often not going to look anything like you think or thought it would. It's going to be couched behind something different that you probably couldn't have imagined. It's going to be couched behind a random conversation with a stranger. It's going to be couched behind stumbling upon some sort of information that you never would have thought because you took a different turn down the road, or you walked a different way to the coffee shop, or you did something serendipitous along your day. But when you have the faith of already knowing that what you're wanting has happened, and that universe always provides the path of least resistance, this should give you the freedom, the calmness, that neutrality to go about life, to enjoy it to its utmost, and knowing that those things have already happened, to be experiencing it in your mind before it actually happens here. And when you do that and you follow each of these steps, what winds up happening is you don't blow the opportunity, is you don't slap your hands on water and push that opportunity out further beyond you to a point where it's never going to happen. And to stop building up your goals to being on such a pedestal that you put yourself in a lower position to just be not thinking it, but maybe putting yourself in a position where that's never going to be possible. This neutralizes all of that. This levels all of those playing fields, puts you in the right energy, doing the right things, and being at the right place and right time for your dreams, for your visions to come to you. In the next episode of Client by Client, I want to talk about my philosophy for delivering your online coaching program. Be sure to come back to tomorrow's episode 154 to get the goodness. Whenever you are ready, here are a couple ways I can help you grow your online business. First, download your free copy of GetBookedCRM. Coaches, are you still managing your leads and pipeline from Instagram DM, Facebook Messenger, and your email inbox where you're losing leads in the cracks and leaving a lot of money and clients on the table every week and month? That's why I created GetBookedCRM. What started out as a free and simple way for me to manage my pipeline and turn my prospects into clients has quickly become a favorite tool of my private students and many members in the Leverage Coach community. Get leads and turn them into clients in half the time. To download your free copy now, just find me on Instagram and send me the letters CRM. Second, join my free group for online coaches. I've got coaches from all over the world, all implementing my methods and frameworks for getting 3 to 5 clients consistently, organically every single month and starting and growing an online business. To get your free invite now, just find me on Instagram or wherever you're getting this episode and send me the word group. Lastly, become my next success story. I'm getting a couple coaches together this month to implement my methods and frameworks for injecting a minimum of 15K worth of new clients or doubling your existing client roster base over the next 30, 60, 90 days. But working with the right people is super important to me. So only respond to this if you are a relationship-focused business owner who always puts the client ahead of the money. You've been working with clients for at least 6 months to a year. You'd like to get 3 to 5 clients organically every single week or month without wasting money and time on paid ads. You have at least 300 friends on a social profile, email list, or Facebook group. You are willing to take bold, inspired action because you know that your success depends upon it. And last but most importantly, you can keep a secret. If that's you, I want you to grab your phone right now, tap that Instagram app icon, do a little search, find me at WhatUpJeremy, give me a follow, binge on some reels while you're there. And when you're ready, I want for you to message me the words case study. When you do that, I'll ask you a couple questions about your online business, about your vision for the next 12 months. And then I'll share with you what we have coming up this month in the program, how we're already helping students from all over the world to get clients consistently. And we'll also identify what part of the program will likely make the biggest impact on your business the soonest. That way you know what to expect. For all the details now, just find me over on Instagram at WhatUpJeremy and send me the words case study. That's it for this episode of Client by Client. Thank you so much for tuning in. See you in the next one. Cheers. Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, super appreciate you being here. If you're on YouTube, tap one of these cards next to me for the latest episodes or to access all of the Client by Client podcasts here on YouTube. LinkedIn, be sure to share this out with your connections. They'll be thankful that you did. Facebook, watch, give this a like, drop me a comment. What was your biggest insight? What stood out to you most? And of course, be sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell to be tuned in when these episodes come out and go live so that you can get this before everyone else does. That's it for me, team. Thanks so much for being here. Super appreciate you. See you in the next one. Peace out.